All right, so this is happening. And I ain't going to take credit for it. Somebody said, be honest, you got to use a new thumbnail live. You still got to. You might be right, KJ. You might be right. you, you you might be right, brother. I'm not even gonna lie, but I will say this is happening, and I ain't gonna say I'm taking credit for it because Pat and Cal have to agree to their terms, so they deserve a bulk load of the credit. They deserve a bulk load of the credit. Pat was the person that came onto the scene and got his name up to this point, and Cal is who Cal is. But what I will say, that shit ain't got nearly as much traction. It ain't got nearly as much traction if we ain't covering it. Now, what I will say is this is a shout out to you, all the supporters out there that pull up to these lives consistently and also watch all of my videos. So, verbatim, I want to tell you that I love you. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. I'm grateful for your support. Seriously. With the combination of your support, your viewership, our rhetoric, and these players, we formed a matchup here. Now, let's break down the matchup. If you haven't watched, I just posted a video. And also, we do have to watch this video as well. So, please be on the lookout for that. Now, if you guys don't know, we just posted a video. Hoodie Kel's return to TNC. So, if you guys haven't watched that, go watch that for me, please. Go watch that for me, please. We're breaking down Kel's game. And I think it's going to be a really good game, but I do have Kel winning. I do have Kel winning around the 30, 24, 25 range because I know people are saying that, all right, Kel hasn't played in a year, but what I will say to you is that I don't think that really matters for Hoodie Kel because he's such, I said this in my video, he's such an assassin. I think his preparation for this 1v1 isn't going to hinder him to the point where he's going to have a rusty situation. And if he does, I think he can battle through it. But I do think it's going to be a really, really great game. This is no slight to Kel. I mean, not slight to Kel. Slight to Pat, who has been doing his thing this entirety of 2025, so I'm not going to discredit him at all. This is just my opinion about the game, and if I'm wrong about it, I will tell Pat I was wrong, and I will tell Pat hell of a game. And even if I'm right about it and if Pat puts on a great show, I'm still going to tell Pat that he put on a great show, and he still deserves opportunities. But I don't see this being a blowout. I just watched Pat play Nell. I watched Pat play Scar. I watched Pat in the tag team one-on-one. I watched Pat throughout this entire year. It's not going to be a blowout. And if you got Pat winning based on whatever you have, that's on you. I'm not going to argue to death because I really don't feel like arguing about an opinion that's never going to change anyway. But I'm going to be honest, man. Let's read the caption real quick. This beef will finally be settled. MJM Kel versus Pat Away for $2,500 in Cincinnati on March 8th. We're launching an experience for fans to purchase early access on a raw and edited version of the game on TNCLeague.com. This is not only going to give you a version of the game that you won't see on YouTube, but it's a direct outlet for our community to help grow TNC, to help TNC grow and support players. On March 13th, this game will be available on TNCLeague.com for all supporters to get early access. This version is going to be uncut. On April 3rd, the edited version will be available for free on YouTube. TNC versus Cincinnati will feature 6 games against the city and 1 YouTube rivalry. Kel versus Pat. Let's read some of these comments here. You got what's the bet? Let's go ahead and look at some of these right here. You're gonna be there. What's going on right here? A little 2 bands. What's the bet? Whoever. Nothing from Pat So Wavy there. I just want to see the comments. Now, a lot of you guys were at the ABC Cruise hat for simply telling him he should take the matchup in Cincy instead of waiting on a season. So I'm going to go back to that video. And I'm going to read some of the comments. Yo, listen. Listen. Yo. Where's that interview? Appreciate y'all for supporting. Wholeheartedly. This is amazing. And I don't take this for granted, which is why I'm going to continue to do my best to not only create matchups, but to do what makes sense or help do what makes sense for this community. That is my entire mission. My entire score prediction be Ellis versus Kyrie Walker. I got me all day, nigga. What are you talking about? All right, anyway. Where is that? May not be as bad as I thought. May not be as bad as I thought. Here's my thing. Here's my issue. I think it's obvious TNC hype men trying to steer the city when he wants, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're playing for $2,500. So on the last TNC season, nigga, they were playing for $1,500. So not only did we get help get a pay increase, potentially, we set up the first ever rivalry matchup in a season, nigga. So, my only mission is to entertain, make matchups make sense, do what's in the best interest of the players, and occasionally pop out. That's my only mission. I'm an independent content creator. Independent content creator. I work for nobody. I don't work for anybody. So when I say I don't work for nobody, and Emily don't work for nobody. So when we try to make a matchup make sense, it's for the best interest of the player. And I'm about what's fair. So the way this matchup came about was I saw Patt going on a tear. And I'm like, hold on, wait a second. I was very consistent with my rhetoric. I was very, very consistent. I said if he beats Scar, he deserves the matchup. Because one, it was supposed to happen because they were supposed to play in Charlotte. And that was right before Charlotte was right after Kel got hurt. So Kel got hurt, and then Charlotte happened. It was a replacement. So as a result, Patt lost his matchup in Charlotte, and then from that point on, he did this. He may have did this a little bit, but he did right back this again. Did right back this again. So as a result, I thought it was the perfect time for them to lace up again, being that Kel is hurt. I love Sel. Listen, bro. I love Sel, bro. I like no. That's like no. Listen, no. Listen. I love Sel, bro. I love Sel. No, like I don't know, no, like real talk, bro. Oh man, but um, as a result, I think Patt deserved the matchup, and we collectively, I brought Patt on the live, and then ABC crew, we all pulled up and we talked to Patt on what should be the best thing for him, and he's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it. Now it's all up to him as to how he's going to perform. It's all up to him on how he's going to perform. But I know Hoodie Kel is not playing around. I know Hoodie Kel is not playing around. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. So I'm ready to see good bump happen between these two players, and I'm ready to see the rest of the card, and then we'll talk about it. But Hoodie Kel is not fucking around, dog. I promise you that. Y'all think Kel coming out there to bullshit. Kel is coming out there, man. I'm telling you, Kel is coming out there to hoop, man. I'm telling you, man. I mean, now one thing I do wonder is that Kel has been in these moments a lot. Kel has been in these moments where he was in a city and the entire crowd was there, and you know, he was in hostile territory in another man's city on the TNC stage where he knew the video would be getting let's go along the lines of 250 to 300,000 views. Kel has been on that stage multiple times. He did it in Free Smoke, he did it in Rhode Island, he did it Carolina when he played Rob. He did this in a lot of different places. This is going to be Pat's first time on a stage like this, and I'm not saying he's going to fold. I don't expect that, but what I'm saying, I'm curious to see how he handles it. I'm curious to see how he handles a $2,500 situation where he knows the entire world, the entire YouTube basketball world is going to be anticipating the drop of this matchup, and how is he going to react. I'm very, very curious because that is a different feeling. Like when you play on, your matchup in Atlanta, when you had a great showing there, when you play CDL Nell, other matchups like that, there were of magnitude. I'm not downplaying that at all. When you played Scar as well, there were Nelson the second time, Nelson both times. They were of magnitude. They were of magnitude. I'm not downplaying those matchups at all. But this matchup right here is up by 2 to 3 notches. This is up about 2 to 3 notches in terms of the amount of money, the amount of winnings, and also the amount of eyes that is going to be like really, really anticipating to watch this matchup between you guys. I'm not underestimating whether or not you're going to be prepared for it, because I hope you are, because I want to see a great game. But I'm curious to see how you what's the word I'm looking for? React to that type of situation. So we'll see. It's going to be a great game. I'm glad it's set up. I think Patt deserves it, and I also think that Hoodie Kel, this is a great first game for him. With anticipation from the comeback after probably a year-long injury or a little bit longer than that. So we'll see. We will see. But if I were you, I would definitely try to I think the matchup is going to be $5 on tncleague.com. You're going to get early access to it. So if I were you, I would get early access, because it's not only going to help the players, it's going to help the entire platform grow as well. But if you guys want to wait until it drops on YouTube, there shouldn't be any issues with that. It's just going to be dropping about 2 weeks later. So, support. This is a matchup that I felt was needed for the community. I don't want the community to run dry with matchups, and this is a rivalry. This is a legit rivalry to me. I know they have respect for each other as men, but this is a legit rivalry that has legit basketball rivalry. This isn't a grudge rivalry. This is a legit basketball rivalry that Patt So Wavy built himself back up to be able to get this matchup again. So heavy anticipation. I can't wait for Saturday. We're all going to be in attendance, and ABC crew obviously is going to be in attendance, and obviously we're going to call a great game. And it's going to be a great game. So I can't wait to see the rest of the card. We're going to talk about the rest of the card when it does drop as well. So quick little breakdown for you guys about that situation. So, yep. Will you be reacting to the uncut version? Or wait, I will not be reacting to the uncut version. Just to the fact that I'm going to be respectful of the next chapter's platform and make sure that, to be honest with you, they do their best at allowing everybody to eat. So you guys supporting the $5 game, this $5 matchup is going to help the entire platform, and it will be an injustice for me to even pay the $5 and then react and then try to post it. That's very disrespectful, and that's something I won't be doing. Bro, I'm really not like that. K Showtime had a great showing. On Black Boy, or that was that Lacey? Yeah, he had a great showing. I don't mind. I mean, y'all can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about in the chat. I don't mind that, man. I don't mind that at all. So I'm going to be respectful of the next chapter's platform. I'm definitely not going to react to the early version. I'm going to wait till it drops on April 3rd, and then we will dissect and have conversations from there. Hopefully we could get players up here to talk about what transpired.